Hey class, I've got a quick little demo just talking about getting into the iteration stage of this logo design competition. So I'm in my sketchbook and I have 8 different designs that I've made so far based off of the circle, and you can see that I'm focusing on the decathlon. So if you haven't done any research yet, this is where actually doing some background investigation on what this event is about can be super helpful, as well as getting into some ideas about it from a historical perspective can be helpful for actually coming up with some ideas. Again, in the iteration stage, you come up with ideas. Some are going to be great and some will be throwaways. And you can see I spent the last 15 minutes doing some drawing here, and some of these ideas I'll probably throw away almost immediately. First things first, I want to get into definitions. So the first thing I wanted to cover here is decathlon. Like, what is a decathlon? So deca comes from the word 10, and then thlon, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's some kind of competition or 10 events, not really sure. However, I kind of inferred that based off of the definition. So a combined event in athletics consisting of 10 track and field events. So when we actually modified decathlon by saying it's an academic decathlon, then that means that they're most likely going to have 10 different events that are going to be academic, and the competition will determine the best winner over those 2 days. So events are held over 2 consecutive days. Winners are determined by the combined performance in all. So basically, in the academic decathlon, it's probably going to be a 2-day event. There will be 10 different parts to that event, and all of those things will have some sort of academic nature to them. So science, philosophy, art, mathematics, and so on. The theme for this year as well, if you looked online, is American Revolution, a New Nation. And so some of that I actually started to bring into some of my designs, as you'll see in a little bit. So the first thing I went towards was just like a basic layout, so academic decathlon. I'm focusing on where the type will go. And then I kind of went with a little bit more of like a sciencey idea here. And I put 10 different dots, and then I just connected them with lines. Again, getting into this idea of 10 events that are taking place within this event, or 10 different levels that are being measured here. I then went also into initials, so AD, and I kind of let the letters fill in the shape of the circle. I don't know, this might be some sort of further exploration. It kind of almost has this mixing feel to it. I then started to think about this American Revolution, a new nation theme, and I was thinking about Washington crossing the Delaware. And so in this, it's a historic painting, and I was thinking I could use the base of the circle to create the boat, and then I would create a simplified kind of topography of that composition within this logo. And then I'd have academic decathlon somewhere hidden in there. Again, this kind of connects to that American Revolution. It's got an image that references historical painting, and then I've got my type to suggest there. Went super basic here and was just thinking about 10 pieces to kind of refer to the decathlon. Maybe these ended up being 10 different books, so these could actually be pages, and I don't know, it's a stack of 10 different books within that. I'm not sure where the type would go, but that was pretty simple. I was also thinking about a radiating logo, and these could all be books, kind of going out in a circle, 10 books. Then I considered as well kind of iterating on this idea of 10 pillars, again connecting to this classic historical connection to Greek culture. So 10 different Corinthian pillars, and then I could have this circle base here where the text would go. I then kind of returned back to this American history theme, and I went for the revolutionary flag, which had the 13 colonies in the field of stars up here, and then our stripes, academic decathlon, and then AD 1776, which was like when the American Revolution took place. And then I took that one step further, so I kind of went in this direction towards that 1776 and as the year of our revolution. And then I just put the 13 stars kind of going around, and I was thinking about putting academic decathlon there. So again, this is kind of an example of like working through logo design through iteration by drawing. This isn't like I'm going to do this all in like 5 minutes, because if you do, you're probably not giving it much respect for the process, and you might just be trying to get it done quickly. At the same time, if you do it really quickly, you're probably not going to come up with a varied selection of solutions. And so like right now, like I really like this idea. I think it's kind of cool, historical painting connection. I also kind of like these ideas here, and I might be interested in exploring more initials solutions, but I'm really not quite sure what I would do here. So right now my American history kind of connections seem to be the strongest one, and I just like this one just because I like historical paintings. So I would probably create this logo and submit it because I think it would be pretty cool to make, and I'd have a lot of fun doing it. This will finish our demo on just how to go about creating thumbnails around the theme of the Decathlon logos for this logo competition.